Narcissist, the worst mayor. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Before I tell you more about the worst mayor, please ensure that you now subscribe to my new sister channel, Narcissism and Psychopathy with H.G. Tudor. You'll find the link in the video description. Thank you in advance, and thank you to those of you who've already joined me there. I've mentioned Tiffany Henyard before. She's a clear example of a narcissist, and we have some more examples of her behaviour, which provide me with an opportunity to not only help you understand why she behaves the way that she does, but also to give you examples of various narcissistic behaviours in the wild, if you will, in real life, in action. Rachel Bauman writes for the Daily Mail, "An unpopular Illinois Dalton mayor was booed out of a town meeting, then sued the other officials for hosting it without her." Now, the booing would be challenge fuel. The fact that people have reacted to her provides her with fuel, which is good, but the disapproval will challenge her. The fact that she then sued other officials is a form of seeking to assert control over them by using the legal process. And as I've explained to you before, certain narcissists are highly litigious for the fact that she or they will use the legal process as a means to shut people down, which is a nullification of threat to control, or to compel people to do things, which is the assertion of control. America's so-called worst mayor, Tiffany Henyard, arrived at Monday's village board meeting an hour late. Lack of punctuality, lack of accountability. Punctuality is the politeness of kings. But many narcissists don't adhere to punctuality because their sense of entitlement means they'll turn up when they wish to turn up. And if they're late, well, you have to deal with it. After all, the world revolves around them and they're more important. It's often the case that the narcissist is unpunctual, not because they're purposefully unpunctual, but because they're focused on something else and they effectively have forgotten about their obligation to you because you're not on the radar. That shows the sense of self-absorption, the sense of entitlement, and lack of accountability. She was met with outraged residents, challenge fuel. Despite the meeting's location being moved to the local Park District facilities, after Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office found Dalton had violated the state's Open Meetings Act. Failure to abide by procedure, lack of accountability, Henyard tried to hold a separate board meeting at Village Hall, according to WLS. Eventually, she made her way to the Park District building and announced that she was vetoing everything the board had already voted on: grandiosity, haughtiness, nullification of threat to control. "I just want to come here and lay down the law down as it relates to what's going on in our village, where we are and where we're going," Henyard said. Notice that she's behaving in a tyrannical fashion, which is commensurate with the haughtiness of this preoccupied narcissist. Village trustees voted to address Dalton's deficit, which is estimated at $2.8 million this year, and approved steps to stop several high-profile vehicle leases. Notice here that there's a lack of boundary recognition, as the mayor's tenure is misappropriating money. She regards that money to be hers to use as she sees fit. The next day, Henyard was served with another lawsuit during a Thornton Township town hall meeting, reported NBC Chicago. Naturally, the presentation of a lawsuit is a threat to control. She told the audience, "I get sued all the time," as the documents were handed over to her. Such a comment is haughty. She's dismissive of it, as if to say, I drink a cup of tea regularly, I get sued all the time, doesn't bother me, which is her attempt to nullify the threat to control that was caused in the moment by her being served. And then on Thursday, Henyard filed a lawsuit against several village trustees, assertion of control, the village clerk, administrator, and the Dalton Park District over the chaotic meeting, reported Fox 32. This is her way of seeking to assert control over various entities and individuals that she deems are a threat to her control. Henyard claims that she instructed Village Administrator Keith Freeman to ensure the meeting followed the Attorney General's guidelines, but Freeman refused to communicate. The lawsuit alleges that the agenda for the October the 7th meeting was posted at the Village Hall on October the 4th, and alongside it appeared an agenda for the Park District building meeting. The mayor said she cancelled her meeting after not enough board members showed up, and she went to the park building to preside over that meeting, but she was met with taunts from the crowd. Challenge fuel. She is accusing the trustees of overstepping their authority and seeks to invalidate any decisions made during the meeting. The fact is that because the trustees made decisions when she wasn't around, that's a threat to her control, and she's now seeking to nullify that threat to control by quashing the decisions. The lawsuit is also asking the court to declare the Village Hall as the proper location for public meetings. Henyard, dubbed America's worst mayor, has been shrouded in controversy, including getting evicted from her home for owing over $3,300 in rent payments, lack of accountability, haphazard domestic arrangements. She also threw an $85,000 party for her town in September, even though she has been cut off from spending by the state for sinking her town into debt. Sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition. The event cost about $50,000 in taxpayers' money to cover performances and more than $35,000 on activities, equipment and staff. In August, the Illinois State Controller cut off funding to Dalton after Henyard failed to hand over finance reports for the use of about $135,000. Nullification of threat to control, sense of entitlement, lack of accountability. Susana Mendoza, the controller, threatened to fine the town $78,600 if Henyard does not turn over the reports. The self-proclaimed supermayor, Grandiosity, has a history of absurd spending habits, lack of boundary recognition, sense of entitlement, that involve the misuse of the town's funding, plunging the small town $5 million in debt, lack of emotional empathy. The Democrat was elected in 2021 and is Dalton's first female mayor. Thus, the behaviour of this narcissist mayor continues, and you understand why she was attracted to the position in the first place, because as a narcissist, the political power that she would wield, even at a local level as a mayor, means that she can control people, that she draws fuel by way of their responses, that allows her to access character traits, and also allows residual benefits, particularly access to the money which she treats as if it's her own. I've explained on many occasions how political power attracts narcissists, and here we have another example of that in action. If anybody's wondering why she's such a shitty mayor, it's because she's a narcissist, and not a particularly effective one. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.